The White House is dealing with a whole bunch of stuff right now. A lot of problems. They got a lot of problems.
Good.
What do they have?
A lot of problems.
That's right. Because you know who tried to clear things up in a cabinet meeting that covered a lot of issues. He also lashed out at some of his usual targets. Let's take a look.
Somalians ripped off that state for billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. When they come from hell and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country.
He's just
It's funny about bitching.
God.
People should always look in the mirror when they're talking about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Will trying to demonize immigrants still work for him or his base? Are they more concerned about other issues right now? Is this going to continue?
Well,
or is this smoke and mirrors too?
It seems like every time his numbers drop, or he perceives that his popularity is dropping, no matter how much tush kissing the cabinet does on him, it's really disgusting to watch them kiss his butt. But anyway, every time that happens, he pulls out a race card. Last time it was the Haitians who were eating the pets, and now it's the Somalis in Minnesota, who, by the way, there's only 84,000 Somalis in Minnesota, and 58% of them were born in the United States.
Yes.
And 87% of them are naturalized citizens.
Yeah.
But one of my spies told me that he lost support with the Somali Minnesota voters over the Biden administration's handling of Gaza. So again, it's personal. Everything's personal with him.
Well, and the problem is with how he handles it is he had a valid criticism. This is rated as the #1 fraud scheme during the pandemic. These were programs that were supposed to feed kids. So there have been 59 people convicted. It was over $1 billion. That's a big deal. And it's not about the Somalis. It's about those people that were convicted making bad decisions. You don't paint it with that kind of gloss, but he's missing a win here. They did uncover it. They are fixing it. This was a problem, but because of how he talks about it, now it becomes, all the Somalis, it's everyone from a country, all those things. Like, he's painting it all crap when you could just look at facts and data. Sorry, Brian.
Well, I just got a note. I got another note.
I think I was quoting him.
I got another note from one of my spies who says that Democrats lost support among Somalis last year. Well, this is going to get their support back, I would think, right?
Well, those that can vote. But look, he does this over and over again, right? And he likes to do it particularly with immigrant groups that come from poor countries that are majority black or brown, right?
Correct.
I've never heard him try to paint the Italians
or
by
Norwegians.
the small portion of the mafia. I've never heard him talk about the mafia, the Russian mafia that's in North Miami Beach.
He's scared of them.
Well, you might have a point there. But, you know, this is, again, a president who is a bully, a president who likes dog whistles, a president who likes to divide and have a target. And this time it's the Somalis. Before it was the Haitians. Before that, it was the bad hombres, the Mexicans. About the Venezuelans, you know, he wants to paint them all as gang members and members of Tren de Aragua.
I don't know why you keep saying that, because he says he's not a racist.
Well, and that's the thing.
What does it say about people who follow him?
I have yet to meet a racist that raises their hand and says, yes, I am a racist. But I think we need to be able to call...
Oh, no, they do now.
Some do.
Yeah,
correct.
they're very happy to tell you now.
But I think we need to call a thing a thing. The President of the United States is using racist language. He is. He's using discriminatory language. He is targeting an entire group in a discriminatory way. Again. Again, and again, and again. And when do we as Americans say being a racist or using hateful racist language is unbecoming of the office of the President of the United States? We need to be able to say that, and we need to be able to say it out loud.